So I have kind of a funny story here. I was actually having some problems with my bike last weekend. Saturday morning I went to the bank, I went and I got gas, and I was doing a bunch of riding around, and I went home. I let my bike sit for about an hour, and then when I went to get back on it, about 5 minutes into the trip, I went to hit the throttle and nothing happened. Like I was in the middle of riding maybe like 45 miles an hour, and I went to hit the throttle and like just nothing. So I turned off onto a side street, and when I pulled in the clutch, the bike just died on me. And so I hit the ignition and it started right back up, and I started riding, got maybe about a block away, and it stalls on me again. And it did this multiple times. And you know, I checked and I had gas because I had just filled up that morning. And so I managed to get the bike home. So I just drove my truck for the rest of the day. And then the next day I went for a ride, perfectly fine, couldn't get it to stall. Over the next couple days I would take it for short rides, and I couldn't get it to stall. You know, I was getting it up to like operating temp and everything. So I think it might have been Wednesday. I took it for a ride, and I came up to a stoplight like this, and there was a Shelby GT 500 that turned and would have been heading straight. So I went to go catch up with him, and when I like really got on the throttle, it started to sputter and bog out on me. And I was like, okay, that's weird. So what I found was under light load and idling runs perfectly fine, but when I try to get onto the throttle, kind of like this, it sputters and it doesn't like it. So I took the bike home, and you know, I used my automotive tech diagnosis skills, and I thought to check the air filter. So I take my seat off, and what I found had happened was the bag for my little toolkit had slid up underneath my front seat and got sucked into my intake. So I took it out, and it's been running perfectly fine ever since then. So it's kind of a funny story about how little things like that can cause the biggest problems. It would have really sucked to have to take my bike into some mechanic and pay him $300 for them to tell me that my little bag just ended up getting sucked into my intake.